Hi guys, good afternoon. How are you guys doing? Hope you are doing well. So welcome to another class. In today's class, we are going to be talking about HTML, Introduction to HTML. Now, the full meaning of HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. What does that mean? It means that HTML is actually a markup language. HTML is not a programming language; it's a markup language. So in this class, we are going to be talking about HTML anatomy. What is HTML? Why do we use it? Why is it very important in web development? But before we go there, I think we need to understand the relationship between the three fundamental technology for building front-end websites or web application, which are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We need to understand the relationship between the three. Now, HTML is actually the noun of a website. What do I mean by that? HTML is the structure of a website. As you can see, HTML like a noun. Paragraph is like a noun because we have elements in HTML. I'll still explain better. We have different elements in HTML. We have the heading elements, the paragraph elements, the anchor tag elements, the image elements, different elements, and there's a way we write those elements. Those elements are like structure. They are structures, or we can also call them like noun of a website, whereby CSS is a styling markup language for styling our HTML. What do I mean by that? CSS add beauty to our HTML elements, while JavaScript add functionality to our website. JavaScript is actually a programming language used most especially in front-end development. JavaScript add functionality to our websites. Do we get that? So we can give this illustration that HTML is a noun, while CSS is an adjective that qualifies a noun. That is, this paragraph is red, which means the paragraph text is what is red. This is how we write our CSS code. This is the format we write it. Don't worry about it. You are still going to learn the format further in the class. The same thing goes for JavaScript and HTML. Don't worry about the format, the way we write the code now. Just get the fundamentals right now. Okay? So why JavaScript is used for writing the function. For example, this paragraph, we said this P is an element, is a paragraph element, and then our CSS is an adjective, it's like adjective, it qualifies the noun by giving it a red color. And then now we say JavaScript is an action, it performs action, yeah, or function. So we now see that JavaScript is a verb, which is an action word. P.hide is a JavaScript syntax telling us that hide this paragraph. So, and that is a function, that is an action. So do we see the relationship between the three? Do we see that? I will also show us the relationship using real life websites. Okay. Now after that, we can now go to what is HTML, because we have the fundamental or the background of the three technology, how they work together and achieve a compelling website. We get to know that HTML give us the capacity to build the structure of our website, while CSS actually style it, give it beauty and structure and more structure, while JavaScript is a functioning programming language that actually allows us to add action functions to our web pages. Do we get that? So let's go to HTML. HTML means hypertext markup language. HTML is a markup language that web developers use to structure and describe the content of a web page. Yes, we use HTML for the structure and the way we want the content of our website to actually look. HTML gives us that capacity. And then we have HTML consists of elements that describe different types of content. All this content we are talking about, all this content and the structure that we want to describe, there are different elements in HTML that does that for us. Like we have paragraphs, we have links, we have headings, we have images, video, audio, etc. Different elements in HTML that give us the capacity to build the structure and describe the contents of our web page. Now, other thing HTML does is that web browsers understand HTML and render HTML code as websites. That is another thing you need to know about HTML. Now, let me open my code base and show you a sample of a website and how these three technologies work together to achieve a compelling design. Okay, are you guys with me? All right. Now, this is VS Code. I think I've explained VS Code to us the other time. And then this is actually HTML page. This is an HTML page, or code rather. This is an HTML code. As you can see, we have different elements. Don't worry, you are still going to learn about each element, and then you will learn how to use them. Like body elements, this is an body element tag. Don't worry about that. You are still going to learn that later. But what I want to show us is the relationship between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, in this code base, this is the CSS. This is the CSS. I want to show us the CSS and HTML. Let me arrange them in order. This is HTML, this is the CSS file, and then the JavaScript file. Let me show us the JavaScript file. Now, okay, are you guys with me? Okay, this is the HTML code for this website. Now, here is the CSS code for this website that I'm about to show us, and here is the JavaScript part that give it function and make it work. There is the JavaScript part. Now, I want to show us how these three work together to achieve a compelling website. Now, I want to load this website, this code base. I want to run it so that we can get to see the live the website, how it look like. Now, I just run the code now. I just run the code. This code base you can see now is the one that transformed to this beautiful and amazing website. And here is it. You see that it has a very good structure and it's beautiful, and at the same time it's very, very responsive. Because if I show us in the mobile view, like if I minimize it and show us the mobile view, you can see it's also responsive. Now let me explain. Now, this beauty you can see, you can see is actually the power of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript working together to achieve this compelling website. Now, how do they work together? And if they work individually, what happens? Now, I want to deactivate the CSS and JavaScript of this website. I want to deactivate it. Don't worry if you don't understand, you understand later. Now, this is if you can see this is actually the CSS link, linking this CSS style to our HTML page. This is how we link it. That is, this CSS code base is able to perform all these functions you are seeing here simply because we link it together with our index.html. Now, I want to deactivate this. I want to comment it out. When I comment it out, I've commented it out and I save it, my browser will not be able to read this CSS file, so it will not be able to load our CSS file. So I currently deactivate this CSS. Now, I want to deactivate the JavaScript aspect of it too, and then we link JavaScript in our index.html down at the bottom of our page. That is where the link for JavaScript is. Please don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. I just want us to know and see how these three technologies actually work together. So I also deactivate the JavaScript. So I have deactivated JavaScript and CSS from this HTML. Why? Because I only want to show us the structure of this beautiful website. Now let's reload our page again. You can see we did not see the color, the amazing design and beauty in this website anymore. You see, this is actually the background. The background is no more there. See our link. See the way they appear. This is ordinary HTML. This is ordinary HTML. This is ordinary HTML. This is ordinary HTML. You see that the structure is somehow. We can only see the structure, but the website is not looking attractive. It's not beautiful. In fact, the images are so big and they appear anyhow. Now you see that. You can see that, right? So this is just the structure. This is the element. This is the logo element. This is our link element. This is our h1 element. You can see the element. This is our about element. This is the marquee element. You can see those elements, all of them, but there is no beauty. So CSS is the one that add beauty and structure, and the way we want those elements to look, CSS is the one that added those beauty and attractiveness to our website. Now let me activate our website. Even the drop down menu cannot work again, because that is the function of JavaScript. You can see it cannot work again. So now let me add CSS. I want to activate the CSS now. You know, I told you that I comment the CSS aspect of it, so I want to uncomment it now, so that our browser can be able to read our CSS file. So now I have uncomment it now, so which means let us reload our website, and then you see that yes, CSS is working now. CSS is the one that added this beauty and the way they appear. CSS is working now. I have activated the CSS code of this website. That is why it looks so beautiful and attractive now. Okay, I have not activated the JavaScript part of it, so let's try and check the mobile view, how it looks on mobile. Now I'm clicking on this drop down menu. You see that it's not dropping down. You cannot see about page. I've been clicking on it. You cannot see about page. You cannot see about page. You cannot see it. We cannot see about page. We cannot see contact us page. Why? It's because it's a JavaScript function that allows this drop down menu, this hamburger menu to work. It's a JavaScript function that allows it to work, and I have deactivated the JavaScript function. That is why it's no more working. Do we get that? Alright, so let us activate the JavaScript aspect of it. I want to go and activate it so that it can actually work. Let me activate it by removing the comments. You know, I commented it before. I want to remove the comment now, so I have uncomment it and save it again. Then it will now be able to work on our website. Now it's reloading. Now if I return it back to mobile view, the drop down menu is working. You can now see that it's working. So this function is actually a JavaScript function. So now I believe you understand how these three technologies actually work together. Okay, now we understand. Alright, so that is that. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. So as I've said earlier, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and is responsible for what? For web page structure. That is what I said. And we said that HTML contain different elements. Now the element will be the one that will occupy this page. How do we write HTML elements? We have to write declare. Is it declare or write? We have to, each element is being embodied by greater than and less than sign, as you can see here. For example, if I want to write the paragraph element, I have to write greater than less than tag and put it inside, and then I close the tag again. This is how to close the tag again and put my word paragraph inside it, and whatever I want to write will appear in between. Don't worry, we are still going to use Visual Studio in our next class to start writing HTML code. Alright, I'm just giving us the basic foundation that we need now. So elements, the name of the element will appear here, the content appear here, and then we also close the element. This is the closing tag, the opening tag, and the element in between. For example, now this is h1 element, that is heading. We have h1 to 6 in the HTML, heading 1 2 3 4 5 6. So that is what we have in HTML elements, headings 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now this h1, that is the first heading, and this is how we open it. We write our less than greater than sign, we put h1 inside it, then in between h1 and then closing tag of h1, our content goes in between that place. As you can see, heading text. So this one is telling us that heading element, this is an heading element, and the same thing goes for paragraph. As you can see, this is an open, this is the heading tag, the opening tag, and here is the closing tag, and then our text goes in between, as you can see, which is our content, and then I name it paragraph element. Also, we also have image element, that is, we can also push image to our website, and then this the image element tag. I img, src. Src means source, the source to that image. And then there are some elements in HTML that does not have closing tag. This image is an example of one. It does not have closing tag. So at inside the same opening tag, you just put slash by the end of the closing tag, and then that is all. We don't have closing tag. We only have one tag, opening tag. Inside the opening tag, all our content goes in between. We also have break. Break only have opening tag, no closing tag. So this is it. Line break. We used to break content, maybe paragraph, too much paragraph. We used to break it to another line. That's all we use that for. So hope you understand what we have been learning so far. And if there's any question, please drop your question in the group, and then I will address it. Alright, thank you so much. Thank you, and God bless you. Let's go back here for the last time. We have hypertext markup language. HTML is a markup language that web developer used to write or we used to structure and describe the content of a web page. And HTML consists of many elements that describe this type of content you want to see on our website, like paragraph, heading, links, images, and video. Web browsers actually understand HTML and render HTML code. As you can see, this is the code, and here is the results, as you can see. Now let's talk about the anatomy of each element. Anatomy of HTML elements. As you can see, as I've explained before, this is the opening tag. We are using p tag, which is paragraph, for this illustration. This opening tag, the name of the element goes in here, is wrapped in this greater than less than tag. As you can see, HTML is a markup language. It's a content. This is the element. This is the content in between. And here is our word closing tag, same as opening tag, but we put a word, a slash, inside the closing tag, as you can see, while the content goes in between the opening tag and the closing tag. Content of the element in this example test, but it might be another element. And at the same time, another element can also go in there. That is, we can have elements inside elements, and that which means that we have a mother element that has a child inside of it. Don't worry, we are going to learn more by the time we move fully into coding in HTML. Alright, this is the end for this class. Thank you very much for your time.